In this video, we are going to discuss about the Algol digital signature check scheme. We have already discussed in the previous video. We have discussed about the Algol crypto system and the way the keys are generated by using the process which is adopted by Algol crypto system. We apply in the digital signature process also. So that is why it is called Algol digital signature scheme. So this is the overview of the digital signature scheme, in which there are something which is done on the sender side, that is the signing algorithm, and there is something which is done on the receiver side, that is the verifying algorithm. And at the sender side, two signatures are generated in the form of a S1 and S2, which are the output of the functions F1 and F2. So in the signing process, we use two functions F1 and F2, and in the verifying process, we are using two functions F3 and F4. The input, as far as the individual functions are concerned, all are different, and the F1 is going to produce S1 and F2 is going to produce S2, and F3 is going to produce something which is being, and F4 is also going to produce something, and when it is verified, then it is accepted. Now, as we have seen that in Algol crypto system, we used to have a public key like E1, E2, P, that is public key, and we used to create a private key also. We have message. We used to generate a random secret number, and with the help of that, we are generating these two signatures, and these two signatures are being sent along with the message to the receiving end. So what we have in the signing process, we have two functions which creates two signatures, S1 and S2. In verifying process, the output of the two functions are compared. The output of these two functions are compared for the verification. Now, as far as the message is concerned, message is a part of the function F2. Message is a part of the function F2. But while whenever we are signing using the signing algorithm, but it is a part of function F1 while doing the verification process. So now, as far as the calculation of F1, F3 and F4 are concerned, this calculation is done on the modulus value P, but the function which is calculated in the form of F2, the modulus is P minus 1. So let us see how it works. So before we go into the how the two signatures are generated, the first thing is to generate the key, that is private key and the public key. And as we have seen in the case of Algol crypto system, that we have to consider a very large prime number. Then we select E1 as the primitive root of ZP star, where P is the prime number assumed, and D is an integer such that E2 is equal to E1 to the power D P. So E1, E2 and P is the public key and D is the private key. And this is public key and the private key which is associated with the sender who has generated this particular key. Now the sender is going to make the signing, and how the signing is being done with the certain formulation it has to do. So suppose Alice is the name of a sender, it selects a random number R which is different for the different messages while doing the encryption. Because as you have seen, we have discussed this point also in the Algol crypto system. If the same value of R is used for the different messages, then there is a possibility of attack. So just to avoid the attack, every time whenever we are encrypting at the sending side different messages, we are generating different values of R. So once it generates a random value R, it tries to calculate the first signature, that is S1. And how it is being calculated, S1 is equal to E1 to the power R mod P. Now E1 is the part of the public key, it is known. R it has generated, P is the large prime number it has assumed. So it will able to calculate the value of S1 as E1 to the power R mod P. Now Alice calculates the second signature, that is S2, and how it calculates, it knows the message, M stands for message, and it is going to subtract that message with the multiplication of the private key into S1 which we has calculated, and then it takes the inverse of R with mod P minus 1, where R inverse is the multiplicative inverse of R which is the random number with modulo value of P. So by using these two formulation, it is able to create two signatures S1 and S2. So S1 and S2 is sent to the receiving end. So the verifying process is also, let us see how the verification is being done. Now suppose the verifier or the receiver is Bob. It receives a signature, that is S1 and S2, and it receives also the plain text message. So it will be going to verify it. Bob checks to see whether this S1 is in between 0 and P. Bob checks whether the S2 is in between 0 to P minus 1. Why it is so? Because S1 has been calculated with the value of mod P. So whatever value S1 will be getting, that will be 0 to P, P minus 1, in between 0 and P. It will be either greater than 0 or less than P. And the value of S2 is calculated with the modulus P minus 1. So that is why the value S2 will be in between 0 and the P minus 1. Now Bob calculates two values, V1 and V2. So V1 is calculated with E1 to the power M mod P. E1 is the public key, it is known to the Bob. M is the actual message, and mod P, P is also known. Now Bob also calculates the value of V2. Now what V2 says, that E2 to the power S1 it has already received, S1 to the power S2, S1 and S2 it has received, so it can find out the value of V2. So if V1 is congruent to V2, meaning thereby V1 is congruent to V2, the message is accepted, otherwise it is going to be rejected. And for that we can see the proof of whether how V1 and V2 will be same. Now if V1 and V2 is same, so V1 is not equal to V2. Actually it is V1 is congruent to V2, and whenever we are taking congruent, we have to apply the modulus value. So V1 is congruent to V2 with the mod P. This implies that V1 is equal to E1 to the power M mod P. So we replace V1 by E1 to the power M, and V2 is equal to E to the power S1 into S1 to the power S2 mod P, and that will be congruent to, now we know the value of E2. Now E2 is being calculated, E2 is already E1 to the power D mod P. So we replace E2 by E1 to the power D to the power S1 and E1 R to the power S2. S1 is equal to, what is the value of S1? E1 to the power R. So we replace it. So E1 to the power R. So this value will become E1 to the power DS1 plus RS2 and mod P. Now, this is the value of V1. What is the value of V2? So we get e to the power E1 to the power M, means V1 is equal to E1 to the power M mod P. So we will replace this V1 by E1 to the power M. So E1 to the power M is congruent to E1 to the power DS plus RS2 mod P. So M, what is M and what is D S1? S1 we have calculated as this one, and S2 we have already calculated. So this value should be congruent, meaning there whatever is the value of E1 to the power M and whatever we are getting E1 to the power DS1 RS2, if we take the mod value of P, these both values are going to become equal. And this is the illustration of the total process which is being performed by this AlGaML digital signature technique.